Good evening, everybody, and it's Lilia with the Help Yourself podcast. And tonight, another fantastic conversation and fascinating topic, the fertile womb. Emily, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
You're so welcome. Now, I think in today's world where fertility is such a big topic, and obviously, you know, a lot of the stuff we teach is about the terrain that of the body. You know, why are we not getting pregnant? And I know that the fertile womb is not just about birthing a human baby, it's about birthing the things that perhaps we chose to come here at this time for. So can you just explain to people that have never met you before how you get into all of this? How did it start, and that beautiful name that you've come up with?
Oh my gosh, I've got so many stories. You can't let me loose with all these stories. Well, for me, it started with mediumship. My mum was a medium, so I always worked with spirit, and it kind of went in that direction. I learned to do massage when I was. I went and did a beauty therapy course when I left left school, and I was terrible at everything except massage, thankfully. And then from there, I travelled the world as a massage therapist and had my children and kind of gave it all up, and then it kind of found me again. I think body work is just something it's just in me. I know I'm really good at it. So that's how it will come about. With the fertility stuff, it was quite strange actually, because I've been working as a spiritual counsellor or a spiritual therapist for about 15 years. And I was at an event and I was doing readings, and I did a reading for a lady that happened to be the founder of Fertility Massage, and we became friends. And she kept saying, you need to learn this modality. And I wasn't really interested because I was already quite busy. And then in the end, I gave in and I learned the modality. And my first case study fell pregnant on her first or second session. So I thought, oh, actually, I quite like this. So that's how the fertility stuff come about. I think I was saying to you earlier, I've always been a bit of a fraud because I'm super fertile. I've never had any problem falling pregnant. I've never had a miscarriage, thankfully. And I always felt a bit like a fraud. But I realised a few years ago that this isn't just about birthing babies. This is about helping women rebirth themselves, birth ideas, birth books, birth like versions of themselves. So there's far more to it than just fertility.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think obviously the baby thing's is a kind of hot topic with IVF, and so many people struggling now to get pregnant. But also I think the sort of constipation of life, where we're just blocked and, you know, feeling that we're kind of going through the paces rather than really doing what we would absolutely love to be doing.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I think it's almost like we settle and we've got bills to pay, and, you know, so I'm sure that's why, I mean, I don't know if you've noticed, but more and more people now are really not happy just with that. They want a bit more. Are you seeing that?
Yeah, it's a trap, isn't it? I mean, I always talk about the first half of your life is the getting years. You're trying to get all the things that fucking society tell you need to make you happy, tick off the boxes, you know, school, friends. If you're really successful, you go to university, you know, all of this stuff. And you get to an age where you've kind of ticked the boxes off. You might have the home, you might have the relationship, you might have the car, then you might have the, you know, the degree, but there's something missing. And I think that's the key. I think that's what the plan is. I think there's this separation from the universe. God consciousness is what they want us to be disconnected from, because that's it. If we're connected, then we can't be lonely. We can't feel like there's something missing in our life, because we are that. So absolutely, I see that as a massive pattern for my clients, you know.
Absolutely. I think our lack of faith is really making us very sick, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you're going to be coming to Scotland. So we'll just talk about this anyway, because you're going to be coming to Scotland with your powerful course. We don't quite have the dates yet, but if people want to be, and we were talking about this before we went live, it's not just for massage therapists, it's for anybody really. Yes, if you've got a little bit of understanding around ANP or massage, that can help, and you get midwives, you get PTs coming. So, but really, generally speaking, if you're getting a calling for this, then you can attend, yeah?
Yeah, and so basically you can come in if you've already got an MVQ or a level 3 in massage, then you come in and you go straight into the course. If you haven't, then there's a little bit of online training that I can help you kind of prepare. So it depends.
Okay.
If you're already a PT, there'll be a short little route you've got to go down just to learn the basics of massage. So yes, it's available to everyone. And what I've found is a lot of my clients want to train. So people tend to kind of gravitate into what they've experienced. So I've got clients that have had many miscarriages, and then they want to go on to support women that have had miscarriages, so they want to train with me. I've got a client that I've just trained that's a midwife, so it's just for anyone. One of my ladies I've trained in Ireland, she only wants to help women in menopause. So absolutely, it's not just about fertility, it's for helping women of all ages.
Yeah, that's brilliant. So tell us what you do in this 4-day course, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a 4-day course. It's life-changing. I think a lot of the women come along thinking they're just going to learn a new skill, and little do they know that they're going to completely change on every level, because it's a real emotional kind of detox, really. But I want to get you in the best shape you can be in, so that you can support the women that come to you. So we kind of work through the maiden, the mother, and the crone. We work through your own birth trauma from your own birth. We work through ancestral trauma, because a lot of the reasons that women aren't falling pregnant is because of ancestral trauma. So I work on that with my students as well. So by the time they finish the day 4, they're like, oh my God, they've created a sisterhood of women that they've all supported each other, they've all worked on each other, they've all bonded, and they've all transformed, and they're going to go out and change so many people's lives. Because this is, I believe, part of my role on earth is to train as many women as I can, because we need these babies to be born. So I'm on a mission.
Yes, absolutely. Now, you mentioned earlier that your mum was a psychic. What was that like growing up? Did she keep telling you who was around you?
Not so much that. It was just quite normal. She sat in circle with Tony Stockwell. He's quite a famous Essex man. And so that was quite normal for us. I used to go with her to the spiritual churches, and my dad actually did Tai Chi, so that was quite unusual back then.
Yeah.
So I was quite lucky to be brought up in that sort of environment. So it just was normal.
And so you clearly inherited her psychic gifts, and
Definitely.
much as you were saying to me, which I thought was interesting, the kind of idea of telling somebody that their granny was there, and it just seems a little bit old-fashioned now. So you use your psychic powers differently. So can you just explain that to us?
Yeah. I thought I did want to be a medium when I was young. I was like, I really want to be. I want to be on the stage, and I want to do platform work. But I realised that it wasn't enough, really. I mean, especially if you're in a group, you can't. I want to change someone's life. I can't give them a little reading and tell them that their nan's here and she's got a walking stick and she died in this way. It's not going to transform them. So yeah, I still work with mediumship, definitely, but I work with it in a completely different way with my clients in a group or in one-to-one sessions.
Yeah, so you just bring it in as you feel is kind of relevant with each individual.
I just think we are that. Like, I don't think that you can turn it off, really. It's intuition, isn't it? But with a client one-to-one, like when I work with matrix, I call it matrix. I don't call it. It's called matrix re-imprinting. So I'm working with a client and I take them back to a memory where they made a limiting belief. So maybe you'll take them back to a situation that happened at school where they got bullied. What happens with me is I'm given a picture. I kind of see it in my mind's eye as a screen. So yeah, I'm often given the trauma. I'm shown where I'm going to go before the client even knows where they're going to go.
Right.
So
wow.
That's kind of how I work it. And then I also bring spirit into a session. So quite often we'll work with a client and I feel like maybe they've lost a loved one or there was a conversation that needs to happen. So then I will just hold space and call in that person so they get to have a final conversation.
Oh, lovely. Very healing.
Yeah, it is.
So obviously, like most of us now, when somebody asks, what do you do? You're like, well, I've done 500 courses. I've read 3 million books. I've trained with, 200,000 different people. It can be quite difficult to, that's why I love doing these podcasts, so you can really get a conversation and people can, even from a website, people don't read nowadays. Their attention spans like this. So to really truly understand, because not only do you run courses, but you do one-to-one sessions, don't you? So just talk us through who comes to you and why, and for the audience that are listening, so that they understand if you can help them.
Yeah. So in person, I work from a clinic in Brentwood in Essex. That's where people come to me for womb and fertility massage, which I do. And I also see clients in one-to-ones in person with matrix re-imprinting and EFT and kind of like spiritual counselling sessions. But I also do them on Zoom. So I have clients all over the world. So I can help anyone like that. I've also created a miscarriage package, which is an online package for women that have experiencing miscarriage, because what I saw a pattern of is just how unsupported they felt and lonely and secluded. And I thought, right, I can, there's only one of me, I can't help everyone. So I put together this package. It's really affordable. I think it's 35 quid, I'm not sure. And it's just an online EFT package, but I put together all of the information and the knowledge that I've picked up over the last 15 years into that, so people can just buy that online. I've also got one for fertility, which is quite similar, which is EFT as well, and meditations. So yeah, one-to-one, but also my packages are really affordable and easy to in private, because people can do that and they don't have to tell anyone they're working on their fertility or they're working on their grief.
Yeah, it's very private, isn't it? Sometimes it comes a lot of shame can come with kind of feeling you can't get pregnant for men as well. It's almost kind of like, well, why did we come here if we've lost the power to procreate? So that's, and is that on your the Fertile Womb site?
Yes, so on my Fertile Womb site, yeah. I mean, for me, I think a lot of the time it's getting the mum prepared spiritually, because I think the babies are such high frequency that are coming in now. They need their mums that have got their shit together, basically. So I think that's my job. I always say, right, forget about falling pregnant. Let's just work on you as a woman, because these babies are sitting here waiting for you to maybe just clear that one more layer of trauma or do that little bit more shadow work, because they want to hit the ground running when they come onto earth. They don't need to be dredging through all their mum's ancestral trauma like we've had to do. These babies they've got work to do. They've got to save humanity.
Love it.
It's the simplest things, Sometimes it's just clearing some kind of trauma or birth trauma, or it could be something that there's been passed down to mum, like from mum or from nan. So it's just the simplest things sometimes, not always physical.
I know, because I mean, it used to be quite a well-known thing that if somebody adopted a child within 9 months or 10 months, they were having their own natural baby, and it's like it's almost like we understand there's something strongly, and that desperation as a woman. Personally, I've never had it because I had my kids really young, but I've seen it in in a lot of my friends, and that yearning that is like an overriding, they call it broodiness, but it can be hugely debilitating and powerful and you just live from period to period to period. And my niece, she had IVF, but she found this incredible guy who was like, we need to get the terrain right for the seed to land in.
Absolutely.
So we started, adjusting our microbiome, and the next IVF worked, and I was like, wow, this man. And he sadly just retired, because really I think you'd be very lucky to meet somebody with that level of wisdom. And it's always the same. There's different angles you can address it from, making sure you're physically strong and well and ready, because the body's genius, isn't it? It's like, no, you're not getting pregnant just now, not ready.
Quite often it's the belief systems though, because if a woman has been told at a young age, maybe say for instance, this is really common, like 78% of women that come to see me have had a termination. So when they've had a termination, they might have been told by the doctor, oh, you do know that's going to affect your fertility in the future, or they might have read that in a magazine or watched it on in TikTok. Then the body's listening and responding. So then the womb starts to shut down and get sad. So sometimes it just means clearing a program like that.
Yes.
Okay.
And also it can feel like it's a punishment if you've already had a termination and then you're not. So the stories that the mind makes up are obviously holding us back. I mean, that's basically what I teach, your stories, your concepts, your labels, most of which are absolute nonsense. And we just believed them. And you know, it was interesting, I was in a court in Essex, actually, in Chelmsford last week.
Oh, that's near me.
Hi. So I didn't realise that's where you were. And one of the, like after the 2008 crash, I kind of left and went to live in Malta. And I thought I never want to employ people again, and I don't want any overheads. And I've lived with that mantra for 15 years. And at the course, I was like, you just held on to that. Made that story up about it. And yeah, I mean, I can do that if I want, or I could maybe lighten up around it and think, you know, is it time to revisit these rules that I've made? You know, it's and I mean that's a very kind of light-hearted example, but we're doing that all the time, aren't we?
Absolutely, yeah.
You know,
yeah,
it's
exactly.
The concepts that we have.
Listening and responding constantly, and it could be even a conversation that you overheard. Like if you overheard as a young girl, if you overheard your older sister saying, "Oh my God, you know, I'm never having another baby. It was so painful." Could be something as simple as that, and the body goes, "Wow, I'm not doing that."
Yeah, absolutely. Right. So you actually do these massages in your clinic. Right.
Yep.
So that's great. So that's why we need to get you up here teaching people. My friend Laura, actually, who works at the Health Hub, I'm sure she'd be fascinated to do it. She does lots of different things. And
it's more than massage. It's fascia. It's energy work. It's also breath work. It's actually I teach the women to kind of prompt the women so that we're kind of intuitively tuning into their own stuff that they need to clear while they're breathing. So there's just so many layers to it.
Yeah, fantastic. Now you've also created something pretty goddamn hilarious and powerful. Remind me of the name because it's a big law.
Oh, dear.
Oracle cards for
21st century kick-ass goddesses. I don't know if you can see that. It's even got an explicit warning sign on the top. I didn't actually need to put that on. I just put it on for effect.
Yeah. Can you just pull one for us?
Yeah, I got a couple of my favourites out. So I actually had a vision of these cards in about, well, it was COVID time when we was in lockdown. I was on my trampoline bouncing up and down. I kept hearing kick ass, kick ass, kick ass, and I couldn't work out what it was, whether it was a program I needed to bring out or what. But then I realised it was the cards. So yeah, that was my first card that came to me. It's called Chuck It in the Fuck It Bucket. But I wanted to make really down-to-earth, normal oracle cards for normal women that might be just about to rush out the door on their way to drop the kids off, feeling all stressed, pull a card, and then they get chuck it in the fuck it bucket, and they think, yeah, actually, chuck it in the fuck it bucket. I'm going to let go of that. Yeah. Got lots of naughty ones. I've got another one that's about spiritual bypassing, and it's called You Can't Sprinkle Sugar on Shit. Because these are all sayings that I've said for like 15 years to my clients, especially when I work in groups. And I always say, like, you can do all the selfies, you can do all the positive affirmations, you can write in your gratitude diary until your fingers ache. But unless you're going to do the shadow work, you're just basically sprinkling sugar on shit. So that's what that card's about.
Yeah, we were actually talking about that I've just come back from a month in Skye, in the Isle of Skye. Have you ever been there?
No.
Oh my God, it's so beautiful. And we had 6 retreats. I ran 4 of them, and then 2 of my friends came up at the end. And we're just talking about that thing, you know, where it's like, don't look over there at all the shadow and the crap. And it's like, well, yeah, you do. You have to acknowledge the elephants in the room. You know, I mean, it's like letting go. It's letting go of all something you don't want is quite easy. But when you're actually asked to go into the look over here, what is that stopping you from getting? People don't want to do it. I mean, quite rightly so. I'm sure I'm the same to a degree. Well, certainly used to be. You know, you're just like, you don't want to talk about things you've done in the past or not done, or things you've said or not said, whatever. That and I think in the kind of crazy spiritual world can be every bit as mental as the allopathic world. You know, acknowledging we all have dark and light in us, and that's where we need to be looking, especially if we want to heal.
Yeah, definitely. And the thing is, that's what we came here to do. That's how we grow. That's how we ascend. That's how we get better. That's how we get wiser.
I know. Well, I just created a retreat called 528 because I don't know if you heard it or seen the Love Tuners.
Oh.
It's a little flute. It's a little flute that it's just the key of C. It's 528 frequency.
Yeah. Oh,
and basically, when you blow it, it turns you into a 528 singing bowl. And, you know, it's all about getting onto that frequency of love as many times a day as you can and to stay in it. And I mean, that's a challenge right now with the madness all around us. And I think as well with people struggling, you know, a lot of people are struggling, so they're attacking because they really don't understand, you know, relationships are breaking up and some people are ascending, some people are descending, and some people are seesawing up and down. You know, so when I discovered this love tuner and I spoke to the guy who was got the download in his meditation, and he was just saying, you know, you can get enough people on this. They were putting it into schools, and after 6 months, the bullying was gone. You know, he wants to get into prisons, and it just almost seems too good to be true. But I think that, I mean, I've sold 100 of these straight off the bat, but I was like, how many people are actually doing it? You know, because when you go out of state, you know, that's how you get back in. I've got it hanging around my neck all the time in the car. I just blow it and blow it. I mean, it's just so nice. And then it becomes the psychology of it. You're just like, I know it's there, you know, so I know that means to me.
I was thinking, how cool would that be to help people stop vaping and smoking?
Well, do you know what? I sold one to this guy who I was talking at a CA convention, and lots of people bought them there. And they said that he started doing that instead of smoking.
Yeah.
Instead of vaping.
The world would be a completely different place, wouldn't it? If everyone did that.
To do. You know, if you're nervous and all that. I mean, don't get me wrong. A lot of people bought them for their kids and it drives them insane. Because my pal sent me a video, his kids are but yeah, especially if you live on your own and you know, it's just a great tool, a great way. Because, you know, I mean, life can be difficult for sure. And it's great when you're absolutely into EFT and you understand about letting go and you know that world inside out and back to front. Although I just did a podcast with a woman called Irina, and she did some tapping with me, and I thought, I'm not doing this enough on myself.
Changing. And the thing is, you think, how can this work, you know? But I really believe that EFT prepared me, because I've had a bit of some things happen like a few years ago, and I just think, God, if I hadn't have been tapping for all this long and had got myself in a position where I knew how to self-regulate and to empty the vessel myself, I don't know how I would have coped. So I tell everyone to do it, especially go on YouTube. There's so many videos for free. I've got a link I can share you of me talking about how to tap. It's just phenomenal.
I know, absolutely. And I feel exactly the same. I think I don't know how people that don't know how to let go are still alive, because sometimes it's been a struggle, even with all the tools.
Absolutely.
You're just like, oh my God, get me out of here. I met one of my friends out in the street yesterday and she's like, I just want to go and live in the hills. I need to get away from the madness.
You know what, though? It's just whatever timeline you're on. I just think that is not on my reality. So I'm not even gonna.
Yes.
It's not even about spiritual bypass. And I know we know what's going on, but it's just like, I think we can get sucked into all the stuff that's going on, can't we? And then it can affect
absolutely.
That's one of my main. I should have done it as a card. My next batch. I've got a plan for my next pack of cards.
What are you going to call them?
I don't know if I want to tell you.
Come on.
I'll tell you after. It's a secret.
Okay.
Yeah, I always just say, and that is not on my timeline. That is not on my timeline. That is not on my timeline. When people say, "Oh God, you know this money crisis and everyone's scared," I'm like, that's not on my timeline.
No, absolutely. It's funny because I've just started. Well, I started Heal Scotland a few years ago, and it was literally a postmenopausal, affair, and I just kind of, did a few events. We set it up as a charity. All the money just goes back into the events to run more events. I don't need to make a profit. I can just earn a few thousand, spend a few thousand, teach people, educate, inspire, support. And then recently, when I met the guy who owns this health hub where we're setting up this all singing and dancing academy and healing centre, suddenly I was sort of like, I could see the vision for how we can really make an impact on our health in the health picture, with these biotherapies. And so I was like, you need to get serious again. You can't just be, flouncing about the countryside doing one event a quarter. And that was when we went down to Essex to do that course. It was an incredible course. I was just buzzing with it. And I thought, yeah, it's time to get, to get the foot back in the gas and get things done. Because, in Scotland, we have, shocking health statistics. The rest of the UK is not much better, but it is a bit better than ours. And that's something that we, the people, can change if we can just get enough people to understand that there is a huge power lies within each human when we let go of all these limiting beliefs and big cultural stories and narratives that we've been given.
And put our whole, work, like feel like the NHS is going to save us from everything, you can heal yourself. Like, we are so freaking powerful. And
I know that's, and it's kind of like, you can heal yourself and nobody believes you, and you're just like, how can we really get this message out about the magnificence of the human body? But again, I suppose it's just, for a start, it's that whole shift in perception and belief systems, isn't it?
Definitely.
And then it's
people find responsibility.
Responsibility lands at our feet and nobody else's, and that can be challenging if you've been given away your power and wanting somebody else to fix you. And I always say that to people. I would love it if you could take a pill and get fixed. It would be amazing, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But it's just not the way the body works. Hi, Susan. But it's exciting times because things are definitely changing.
I think so, and I think we're healing quicker than ever on a like processing stuff quicker than ever. I'm seeing it, like, definitely even in my clinic, like people, the shifts are just happening like that now, whereas it would take maybe 4 sessions. Now it's like 1 session and they're like, oh my God, I've cleared that and I'm already getting relief from it. So I just feel like I think it's a fabulous time to be alive, personally.
I totally agree. I saw that in Skye. I was in Skye for 9 weeks last year. We did 11 retreats, and there's definitely, you can see progress after a few days. But this year I was like, whoa, wow. Like, just, and I was like, is it the people that have come together, that they're just really open-minded and really enthusiastic and grateful, rather than bumping their gums? Why are we not getting this? Why are we not eating that? Because you're not.
No. I'm doing a retreat actually in on Innis Air in Ireland.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's the smallest of the Aran Islands.
Lovely.
Really excited about that. I've never been there. I feel like I need to do some magical
I've not
work.
been there. When are you going there?
I've got a retreat there in August.
Oh, nice. Well, we need to
Yes.
let me know how that is. So when do you think, roughly month-wise, you'll be in Scotland to teach?
Well, I was hoping May, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
Right.
If not, it might be later, sort of after the summertime, maybe October, I was thinking.
October, right? Okay, yeah.
'Cause it's
Well,
it's
that gives people a bit of a
yes,
chance to plan it in, because everybody's diaries are so busy these days. Yeah,
Yeah, I just need to get my head around. I've got a bit of a busy year, so I need to get my head around that. I've been doing a lot of. I've just come back from Sardinia, working with some really amazing awakened doctors.
Wow.
I know.
Tell me about that. Tell me.
Oh, well, it was me, little old me, and I was like, "Are you sure you want me? Because I talk like this." And all these, doctors, quantum scientists, physicists. Oh, it's just fascinating. So yeah, they're doing some really magical things in Sardinia. They created a very, very magical place. Yeah, I don't know how much I'm allowed to say, but lots of inventions I saw. Like there was a team of people like doing magical like stuff on apps that are like changing health stuff, all about clearing the spike protein as well. A lot of it.
Great.
Very interesting, yeah. And it makes you think, there's so many people doing so many amazing things for humanity. Like,
absolutely. There's a lot of incredible stuff. I saw Shivana, Vandana Shiva, speaking at Russell Brand's festival a couple of years ago, and she said, "Look, I'm all over the world, and I'm telling you, things are changing. There's incredible things going on, and even in Scotland, we're so lucky here. There's things popping up, and we've got a lot of really incredible equipment that can really help the body, and safely, without causing other problems further down the line. So that's where we need to put our focus. We understand that things aren't great in a lot of areas, and we have to get it changed. And we also, I think, most people understand the politicians ain't going to fix it, and either's big pharma. So I think we have to realise now we need to get back to our communities and start growing our foods and looking after each other.
It's coming. You can feel it.
It is.
It's coming. It's so close. We just got to keep blowing the whistle, your 528 whistle.
Yeah, exactly.
Expanding our hearts, training as many people as we can, getting these babies born.
Yes, exactly. Well, listen, I really look forward to you coming up to the hub and spreading this wonderful message, getting all the babies born. I'm a big baby fan.
Yeah.
So listen, it's lovely to chat to you. I've put your website in there, and I've also put the link to the Oracle cards. So if anybody listening live or in replay, and keep an eye on because we'll put your event on the Heal Scotland events page when it comes, when you get the date in, when you get your diary out and get it organized.
Yeah, I will. I promise you, I will.
Amazing. Well, listen, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's been really nice.
And I'll chat to you really soon.
Thank you.
Night, everybody. Thanks for joining. Ciao.